Going into the next section of chapter 5, last section is policy options. So the first one we're going to go over is non-forfeiture options. A lot of people see the word non-forfeiture and they get confused because they don't really know what it means. But when I see non-forfeiture, I think of non-forfeit. Now, non-forfeit means to give up something. Non-forfeit means you can't give it up. Right? So this is for policies that have cash value, right? The cash value, that savings that you've earned so far, you can't just give it up. You have to be able to do something with it, right? So you have to do something with it. Therefore, they give you options to say, here's your cash value. This is what you can do with it. Now it says, see page 34. So going to page 34. So non-forfeiture options. So let's say this is your situation. You have a whole life policy for $150,000 in coverage. Obviously, with a whole life policy, you have two components. You have a life insurance part and the cash value part. And this is talking about that cash value. You say, here's the amount of money you have in cash value. What are you going to do with it, right? And here are your options. So the first thing is cash surrender, right? Surrender is underlined because it's the key word. You're surrendering your policy. Basically, you say, I want the cash. Just give me the money. Whatever I've earned so far, just give it to me, right? Now, the company is not going to just say, yeah, here's all that money you've earned so far and not going to charge you a fee. That's not going to happen. So what they do is they get the cash value you've earned so far. They take away a surrender charge because you're giving up the policy sooner than it's supposed to be. And then whatever's left over afterwards, that's the amount of money they're going to give to you. Okay, the next one is extended term. Keyword here is term. Basically, you get the whole life policy and you change it to a term life policy, right? But you keep the same amount of coverage, right? And the only difference is with term life, there is no cash value. So what happens? What do they do with the cash value? What they do is they take the cash value and they say, with this much cash value, with the coverage you want, you can get, and they determine how many years your term life will be. They'll say with this much money, you can have 20-year term life for $150,000, right? So they take the cash value and they determine how long you're going to have it. The next one is reduce paid up. Reduce paid up is, the keyword is reduce. What you're doing is you're reducing the amount of coverage. So you keep the same policy and everything. So you still have whole life and everything like that. But the only difference is instead of $150,000 in coverage, you're going to go ahead and reduce it down, let's say to $100,000. And again, all the examples are just what they are. They are examples. They're not actual situations. It's just easier to understand a concept with numbers. Okay, so you have the same whole life, and you still have you still have the coverage. It's just going down to 100,000. And what happens to your cash value? It continues to grow because whole life policy does have cash value, so it just continues to grow. Going back up to the page. So like I said, we went over them. We went over reduced paid up, extended term, and cash surrender. Now, let's say you didn't choose one of the three. Automatically, the company will give you the extended term option if you did not choose one of the three options. That's the one they're going to give you automatically. Next section, or the next part, is dividend options. Now, again, dividends is like, I think of it like change, right? Let's say you go to the grocery store and you go to buy groceries and they come out to $15 and you give the cashier $20. How much money are they going to give back to you? $5. Now, are they going to tax you on the $5? No. Are they going to charge a fee? No, it's your money, so you're going to get $5. So same thing, if a client's paying for their premiums and all of a sudden they pay more than what they're supposed to, that money belongs to them. So the company is going to give it back to them, no tax, no anything like that. Now, can I guarantee dividends? No, because if you think about it, can I guarantee that when you go to the grocery store, you're going to overpay for your groceries? No, right? You can't guarantee that someone's going to overpay, right? So dividends is not guaranteed. And who are we going to pay it to, right? Are we gonna, when you know, when they at the grocery store, when they give the change back, are they gonna give it to the person behind you? No, they're gonna give it to you, the person that paid. So same thing here. The money, the dividends that's giving paid back, that's gonna go to the policy owner. Okay, now the 5 different options is how are you gonna get that money back? Let's say in my example, it's you're paying annually $1,000 and your dividends is $100. Okay, first thing is cash, means that you get the money, cash. They send a check in the mail, you get the check, you sign the check, you deposit it in the bank. There you go, you got $100 in your bank account. Easy, right? The next one is reduce of premium. So what do is they're going to take the $100 and put it to the next payment. So instead of paying $1,000 next year, you put the 100 to the next year payment. So instead of paying $1,000, you're going to pay 900. Okay. The next one is accumulation at interest. What they do is they take their dividends. So in my example, $100, they take the $100, they invest the $100 and it grows, right? And let's say it went from $100 to $500. So how much money did it grow? 400, right? Because the original 100 plus 400 more. Now again, the original 100, they don't tax you or anything like that. But the 400 that it grew, that will be taxed. So an important note to write down, interest is taxed. They might say growth. Is the growth taxed? Yes. So interest or growth or anything that grows or gains money, then the money that you gained will be taxed. Okay. The next one is the paid up additions. Basically what they do is they take the $100, they look at your age, they look at everything, and they say, with this $100, I can get you this much more in coverage permanently added to your coverage. So let's say it was 10 grand. What they do is they get the 100, they pay for the 10 grand, and you were covered for $100,000. So now you're covered for $110,000, and you do not have to pay any extra premium. It's just paid for by the dividends. Okay. This is your automatic option. If you don't choose one of the options I'm going to go over, then that's the one they were going to give you. And the last one is a 1-year term. Similar to the paid up additions, the only difference is how long does it last? 1 year. The paid up additions is something that's added to your policy indefinitely. It's just permanent. But the 1-year term only lasts 1 year. But why would someone get it? It's because it would pay out more than if you were just going to get the paid up edition. So maybe with the paid up edition, it was 10 grand, but with the 1-year term, it was 20. See? Next section, or next part of this section is settlement options. So settlement options is how is your beneficiary going to get the money when you pass away? You get to choose that, not them. First thing is your automatic option, which is cash payment. You just get a lump sum. So it's one big check of the whole death benefit paid to the beneficiary, tax-free. That's important to know, okay? The next one is life income. If I chose life income, basically they're going to look at my beneficiary and they're saying, with this age, with the health and everything, most likely they'll live to like this age. And based on that, that's how they'll say, okay, we need to pay this much money to the beneficiary in order to make that money last a lifetime. Okay, interest only, what they do is they get the death benefit, they invest the death benefit, and it grows, right? And again, the original death benefit is not taxed, but what is taxed is what? The interest. See that last bullet point? Write it down. Interest is taxable. Interest is taxable. Okay, the next two, super easy to understand. Fixed period and fixed amount. Fixed period is I chose an amount of time. So let's say I said 10 years. Then they're going to say in 10 years, if they're going to get all the money in 10 years, we're going to divide that by however much you have in coverage. That's how much they're going to get. Fixed amount is I chose an amount of money. So I said $5,000 a year, right? Then they're going to say, okay, if we're going to get $5,000 a year, this is how many years that's going to last, right? So fixed period is you chose an amount of time. Fixed amount is you chose a value, okay? And that is the last section of chapter 5. So therefore, this is the end of chapter 5.